I actually talked to them last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just briefly on Instagram, but they were super nice. And they were like, yeah, we'd love to come and plug it up. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, they would be perfect for it. All right, we're live. Do you want to just, can you add people, Caitlin?
Let's see.
If you right click on him, you should be able to hit add to call.
I'm just trying to see if I even have him. Why don't I have John in my...
Oh, I see. I got him.
Oh, wait.
Wait.
Hey.
Caitlin,
Hey.
I messed something up.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Caitlin, I messed something up. Can you turn your video back on? I don't know what happened.
My video, can you not see me?
Yeah, I clicked away. I did something bad.
I see you.
Oh, weird. Try turning.
I'll turn it off then back on again.
Yeah, see if it refreshes on mine. Otherwise, we'll have to restart the call, I guess. There you are. Elizabeth's booting up right now, so should be good to go here in a few minutes.
Is Casey not on tonight?
I thought he was.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was just wondering where he at.
Have we heard from him? I mean, yeah, he confirmed this afternoon.
John, I'm so upset. You look so handsome, but I'm so upset.
Caitlin, there's only so much
Not a fan.
passive aggressivity I can withstand from my wife. So,
what about the fans, John?
yeah, well, I guess I could have saved some.
A
It's still pretty long. Like, it's not like.
Did you do a rat tail?
No.
Oh, come on, man.
No, but you know, I know it was a missed opportunity. You're right. So.
Hi, Casey.
Hello.
Hey, big guy. You didn't cut your hair, did you?
No. It's still here.
No,
Straight
Casey's
townie.
what we call loyal.
Yes. long hair loyal.
Long hair loyal, baby.
You know, it was like a 2-year run. It's not bad.
I do like that you kept a little length to it, that it didn't go all the way gone.
Well, it'll grow back.
The swoop, I'm liking this little swoop.
Well, it's a little annoying. It like doesn't stay back.
It's very Tiger Beat.
Yeah. Well. Good reference.
Thanks. The real Jonathan Taylor Thomas over here.
Yeah. God. Let me tell you guys, I am like limping into this weekend. My company, for some reason, gave us tomorrow off as Juneteenth observed, but my kids are off on Monday, so I have a 4-day weekend is the upshot.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I get Juneteenth. I think my kids do, though.
I mean, it's like, I think it's a federal holiday now, so.
I don't have it off.
You know the company I work for, John?
I do. I was going to say, it might not be recognized by
But
all
like a day off
companies.
with my kids means nothing. Like I'd rather work, honestly.
Oh.
I love my kids, but
yeah.
a day off after a weekend sounds fucking exhausting.
Yeah. We have a wedding on Saturday that we have to, it's in Maryland, so.
I have to work all next week from the hotel. Lucky me. Probably
Hotel
Saturday
Friday.
too.
Damn it.
Yikes.
It is storming here, FYI. I hope the power doesn't go out, but if it does, I'll try to hop on my phone.
Oh, let me just check email. Oh,
wait, so did we decide is next week 666?
If somebody wants to look at the episode guide, it should tell us.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, it is. I can pull it up.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm
pretty
like
sure though.
99% certain it is, but yes. I got
Heard
your
that
list.
before.
Hey, easy.
Did you say you have Eric's list?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I like that.
The confidence.
Website says our last episode, Monstrous, was 644.
644?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
it should have been
don't go by.
664.
I write the website one, so if it's wrong, it's because I'm wrong. So Kaylin keeps the episode guide, so I transpose numbers a lot. And
Yeah, tonight is 665 and next week is 666.
Hey-o!
Hail Satan.
so I want to just tease that we have something special, but I'm not going to give it away. I don't think we've mentioned it on the show before.
Mm-mm.
I need a word because I just realized I didn't get one.
Folklore, witch,
That should be a...
Hellbender.
we are streaming
like,
right now, by the way. That should be a good show, though. I'm excited for 666.
Yeah.
Let me check my
Family.
email.
Is this helping?
This is great.
Thank you.
You're doing great.
Thanks.
Is there not a Wikipedia page for this movie?
There isn't.
That's so crazy.
I know. There's an IMDb.
No, I mean, it's more just like, I don't think we've covered a movie that doesn't, like, usually, like, the marketing team at the studio would, like, make the Wikipedia page.
John, Hellbender is a word. I didn't know this. It's a type of salamander.
Yeah, I know that because when I Googled it to find a picture for Instagram, that's what came up.
All right. There we go. Done. Done and done. Okay.
I'm forwarding you from an email from Caitlin that I'm not going to read on the show, but it's, I believe, directed at you, if I'm interpreting what she's saying.
I'm so excited.
All right, so no real email, but we have some Instagrams.
We have a tweet from Whitney and then one from Teddy, I think. I'll let you figure that out, Casey.
I'm gonna have to close my window. It's fucking dogs next door. Neighbor has like 6 fucking dogs. You know how many's too many? That many. It's fucking stupid.
I thought you were, I mean, I would have said one, but, you know.
Oh, anyone can have mine.
There is a question in this email, though, technically.
He smells, he's constantly tripping me, and he costs me money, does nothing but cost me money. Like, I'm all set.
Caitlin, is it like a question we need to answer, or is it a question for you specifically?
It's what's on your charcuterie board. It's kind of a cute question.
I can't.
True.
All right. Next week's movies upload.
Thanks, Casey.
You're welcome.
Can you hear me?
I can't.
Hello.
Sort of.
Okay.
Are you in a wind tunnel?
Yes,
or?
you're
No, hold on. I'll turn my fan off.
You're coming through the computer
Is
mic. It sounds like I would check your input.
Okay.
While she does that, I'll be right back. We are streaming live.
Oh, good. Everybody gets to watch me, old lady style, stumble through tech problems.
Well, I don't think your camera's turned on, so we're not watching per
that's
se.
probably for the best.
Gotta get in here and see Schnars' haircut.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Legit. Kind of mad I didn't get to do that haircut, but that's alright. That would be hard to coordinate.
Now, John, did you even donate to Locks of Love?
Did you have 9 inches?
No. I mean, if I had taken it all off, it probably was 9, but they would have to like go to the skull. So.
Don't be doing all that.
Yeah.
It's only letting me check. How do I audio and video settings? It has video. I don't see audio settings.
It should say, it should have, under like the webcam and backgrounds and stuff, there should be a place that says microphone.
Oh, I guess if I scroll down, I told you.
The little drop down menu.
There we go.
Okay, should sound better.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Yes,
Better.
Yeah.
sounds
Okay.
great.
Yeah, you sound good. I can't see you.
Okay, I know, I'm trying to
Cool.
figure that out. Why does this webcam never work?
There you go, Schnars, full flow.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Casey. Casey's got the longest hair on set tonight.
Yeah.
Probably
And
greatest too.
We can't judge Eric's. It's not fair. It's not a fair comparison.
Eric's got some gray in the beard, I see.
Oh, it's yeah.
We're aging
He's
him.
got plenty. He's got plenty.
I'm like that. You ever seen that? Like, I'm like those photos, like pre-pandemic to now. It's like of presidents.
Like when presidents
Yeah.
age.
I always say that your beard was president.
I think my girls love pointing out the gray. They're like fascinated by it.
No.
My
I think
brother
I've-
and my youngest cousins have the most gray. I love it.
I think I've said this on the show, but my now 3-year-old once with all didn't ask, but told me that the hair fell off of my head and onto my arms and legs. Makes sense. That tracks.
That's okay.
I was gonna
Colleen.
say, go ahead, Casey.
I was gonna say Colleen had to sit me down last week and did tell me that I can't keep saying my hair's turning gray. It's already gone. It's there.
No.
What
it's
you
not.
should
You've
do,
got some
Kate.
pigment.
What you should do,
Depends on the lighting.
Casey, you should go and get one of those dye jobs that like some women in their 60s get. where
Dye
they're-
job?
Oh my god, is that
Excuse
not is
me.
that not okay?
Sorry, I
Color
can't let that pass.
jobs, where it's just like shiny metallic silver. Like that's what you should do.
I've used my mom's. My mom's got some kind of fancy salon shampoo that highlights your gray.
Oh,
I
it's
used
purple.
that.
It's purple shamphu. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I used that up there at her house. Once,
Elizabeth,
and
are you
I
gonna
was
tell
damn
us?
near white.
Are you gonna tell us the proper terminology since you shamed me?
That's what we're doing tonight, guys.
Are you gonna tell me what it should be called?
Hair
That's-
color?
What?
I also was unclear what the proper terminology was.
Dye job? Are you getting it in
Yeah.
an alley for $4?
I mean,
That
Maybe.
back alley
I
dye
could.
job.
I mean, I might.
Maybe don't judge me.
Don't do that. No judgment.
$4. That's dude. You know what inflation is right now? That's a good deal.
Yeah. Do you know
This is
how
why
many
men's
people
haircuts are
are?
like $14.
Dude, no, I no. In
Good
fact, I
now.
They're
stopped.
28 at my salon.
Yeah, I stopped.
Hey, Eric, why is sorry to interrupt.
It's okay.
Why would no camera be working right now on this laptop?
I mean, I don't know. You could try different USB ports. If not, I mean, you're fine.
But even the laptop's webcam is not working.
Have you hit it
You
like
have to turn
physically?
it on in the settings.
I do not know the answer to that question.
Okay, I'm gonna look at my computer settings and then
Make sure
sorry.
Viber's closed.
I did all that.
Yeah.
And you like, this is gonna sound like an asshole statement, but like the turn video on and off button in Skype is clicked.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, it
settings I
says
was
turn
telling.
video off. Now it's
Okay.
off. Now it says turn it on, and I
Hmm.
just see like a white.
It's weird. You like got your like square got bigger on my screen.
Right.
Yeah, it
it's
looked like
looking
it
like,
was
it's
about to
doing
go.
something, but it's not. Okay.
Okay.
Stand by.
Yeah, I would just give it another minute, try, and then.
I know this is a day that you really want.
If not, we'll just record. Like I can hear you good, so it'll work either way.
This is a podcast primarily. That is how
that's true.
Vast majority of humans experience it. What?
What? Couldn't be possibly.
Wait, is this movie actually a 2022 movie? Did we decide? When did it come out?
2021.
Yes.
See,
well,
can't go on the list.
Yes, it can, because 2021 it was at Chattanooga Film Fest, and then 2022 it got added to Shudder.
Oh yeah, no, okay, that's fair. As long as if it didn't have a broad release, like film, like the world premiere is not what matters. It's like when could most people watch it?
2022, baby.
All right, well, there you go.
Gonna add it to the Caitlin list.
Asked and answered.
Eric's list is almost full for now.
Yeah, I mean, like fairly early in the year, but a lot of it's just trash I just put on there just for the sake of it. So I don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna move some stuff around.
Don't know if that really counts.
I actually remembered to go put this movie on my list while I was watching it. That's a big step.
It's a big one. I literally like it finished and I hit restart like without skipping a beat.
So let's not say what we're doing for 666, but if we want to tease ahead to that, whatever that thing is, I keep forgetting the name of it, to the one after that, I'm fine.
Mad God.
Yeah.
And if it's cool to promote my trivia thing in Richmond, I would love to after the thing.
Do you have a date? I thought it was until October.
No, it's next Friday.
Oh.
Trivia is next Friday, yeah.
I
wrote it, John Schnars.
Okay. Whoa.
Your dogs are like, God, listen.
Eric, I've got like 3.
Those are my dogs. I'm dog sitting. So I'm just a great addition tonight, you guys.
I've got 3 files, Eric. They're like 3 shorts that I think combined to make that Phil Tippett's Mad God. They were like his demo reels or something. I haven't watched them though.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it says it took 40 years to make it or something insane like that. That's pretty cool. All right, are you sticking around, Elizabeth? You good?
Sorry. Okay, I just closed the door. What'd you say?
Are you sticking around?
Let's try it.
Okay.
If they get too squirrely, I'll hop out.
The door may be enough to help. I don't hear anything right now.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, can you guys hear this? Okay, everybody stand by. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Bloody Good Horror. My name is Eric, and I'll be your host for this evening, where we will be reviewing Hellbender, not the lizard, as I learned is what an actual Hellbender is today, but the movie. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. First up, joining me tonight from Richmond, Virginia, please welcome Caitlin to the show.
Hello.
From Indiana. Whoa, I almost blanked there. I've been saying that for 20 years. I almost blanked. Please welcome Casey to the show.
Hello.
From Manhattan, New York City. His name is Schnars. Don't forget it. He cut his hair, too. Why?
It's big news. He didn't even tell us.
Yeah.
It's like the same hair I had for 20 years.
He cut his hair
on the show, dude.
He cut his hair. Didn't tell anybody. I had to find out from his wife's Instagram post, which was maybe the most hurtful part of all of this.
Like, I am curious, like, what I was supposed to do. Like, hey guys,
you were supposed to ask.
I got a haircut.
You were supposed to ask before.
To the chat, bro. I mean.
You were supposed to ask before you got a haircut. Consult with us on how it was going to be cut. give us like at least a week's warning so that we could emotionally prepare ourselves, and then immediate post picture.
Yes, we were quite clearly all fishing for a selfie that night.
Since you're asking what you should have done, that's what you should have done.
Well, you should have let me cut it first. We're really skipping the headline here.
Last up, joining us tonight from Memphis, Tennessee, please welcome Elizabeth to the show.
What's up, guys? I'm in the land of all dogs. Sorry if they start working.
It's okay.
That'd be a heck of a commute for a haircut.
We've had worse.
I know.
Yeah, you guys finally wore me down, and we're doing Hellbender on the show, so here we are. No, nothing against the movie itself. I'm just stubborn, and the more people want to do things, the less I want to do it, John. I don't know if you know this about me.
Yeah, no, I obviously knew that.
Yeah, we know you well.
That's why I'm like, this movie looks trash. We don't need to watch this.
Yeah, they don't know.
Like,
they don't.
No, I demand it.
Listen, Caitlin and Casey don't know how to work me like you do, Schnars.
Yeah.
So there you go.
They'll get there.
Let's take.
I don't know. I feel like this is a special dynamic that you do.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break so that we can review Hellbender.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. Up the prime time. Main feature.
If I'm being honest, I thought I had escaped the conversation, and then it aired on the last drive-in, and Casey's been losing his shit ever since that he wanted to review it. So here we are.
Yep.
He's had a strong case.
Go, Casey.
Did you see that episode, Eric? Like,
You were here.
It was a weird night where I was half paying attention, so I saw probably like a quarter of it there, and then I just watched the regular version to like actually review it.
Not paying attention.
Yeah, no, listen, most Friday nights I feel like dog shit. So if honestly,
you were here. You were in Memphis.
I also. Oh, you're right. Okay, never mind. Yes.
That was the
correct.
Yeah, I just didn't want that joke
No,
to like
I forgot
just
about
live
it.
stream.
Again, distracted.
I forgot that's where I was. Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't like when Joe Bob does serious movies. The best movie he's done all season was The Baby this past week, which I got high and stayed up for almost all of it, and it's the fucking best thing I've ever seen.
Dude, that movie is a fucking trip.
John,
That
this is
movie
about
was
a.
trip,
This
but
is,
I will argue that Monster Club was better.
John, this is
That
about.
was also very entertaining.
John, I'll fight you on that one, Casey. John, this is a movie about a 70s exploitation movie about three ladies who keep a man that they've like forced to be an infant in their home, and then also used for like sexual purposes based on 70% of the movie I saw.
I was gonna say people pay good money for that.
It's rated PG.
That's
He's in his 30s.
John. It's rated PG. It's the craziest thing you will ever see in your life. The Joe Bob commentary is amazing. It is so worth it.
I might watch this on Joe Bob.
The first movie they did last week too was nuts. I wanted to catch up with that too. And
Yeah, that one was a good one too.
what was it?
Trying to think off the top of my head. It was something Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was pretty good too.
That lady, the aunt, she was wild.
But yeah, the second he gets on, he's like, "We're doing the Changeling tonight." I'm like, "Wrong answer. That's not what I want here, friend. Sorry."
Just a little.
I don't want to
long,
sit
you
and
know?
watch. I don't want to sit and watch Nosferatu with you, Joe Bob. I'm sorry.
That one was long.
Ugh. All right, John Schnars, please bring us the word of the day.
I'm honestly going to be recovering from The Baby for the rest of the show, guys.
Please watch it, or I might just make us watch it for the
Let's
show.
do it on the show. Do it.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of want to watch the Joe Bob. There's no way I'm going to make it through this movie in real life. But today's word, already somewhat spoiled by Eric, which I'm a little annoyed about. Hellbender.
I can see it happen in real time.
You mean it was
John's eyes
H-E-L-L.
narrowed.
You mean it was spoiled by
B-E-N-D-E-R.
the movie title?
Well, yeah. So, like, obviously, I showed up, didn't have a word, and we were discussing this pre-show. Caitlin revealed that the definition of Hellbender is, and I'm just going to read here, an aquatic giant salamander with grayish skin and a flattened head, native to North America. It's actually it is an endemic giant salamander to the eastern and central United States, and it is the largest salamander in North America.
Sexy.
Why it's called a Hellbender? There is there's like the drop down things on Google. Like people also ask, and it like, why is it called a Hellbender? It just says like, it basically gives you that same exact definition again.
It's super metal, bro.
So it has hidden gills, which it loses around 1.5 to 2 years of age, and then it breathes through blood vessels in its skin.
Huh.
So
it's got to be
Salamanders.
terrifying if you're a 1-year-old giant salamander. Your gills start to disappear. It's like, what the hell, man?
Salamanders were weirdly like the only thing I would like pick up as a kid because they were all over the place where I lived.
Would you now?
Hell no. No.
I was always afraid of them because I only found them in like muddy streams and under logs.
While Eric was here, my daughter, dad, and mom, and whatever, like we all were like picking up this frog that had like jumped in the pool.
I was like, oh hell no.
He was like crawling into himself. Like, I cannot understand what is wrong. What are you, feral? Like, what is happening? Why are you touching this nature? It's like, it's fine. It's not gonna bite you.
Nature's not meant to be touched. That's I maintain that. John Schnars, tell me about Hellbender, the movie.
Yeah, I mean, so folks were very excited about this movie, but I will just confess, I didn't know really anything. At some point, I don't know, in the last several months, people were referencing the Addams Family, which I thought was a reference to the now kids films, but also, you know, popular TV show. I did do some research. So we watched this movie. I hadn't seen any of the previous films, and I did read an interview with them that they did for like RogerEbert.com or something.
We have a great one on bloodygoodhorror.com too.
Oh, you said there was an interview. I didn't realize it was on BGH. I mean, all right. So I should, yeah.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, throw a brother a link every once in a while. Just like, you know, can you throw me a link? Yeah, I mean, so we'll get to like what the movie's about, but this is made by this group called the Addams Family. It is a family. There's 4 people. Well, there's sort of 3 primary folks. It's Toby Poser, her husband John Adams, and then Zelda Adams, who is their youngest daughter. There's a sort of older daughter. There might be other kids, I don't know, but these are the 4 I picked up on and are in the movie. Lulu is the sort of older daughter. She appears in this film, but in a smaller role, but still significant. So the movie, and they're filmmakers. Like this is the 3rd feature they've done, I think. Maybe there's others. They are very.
This was their 6th, actually.
6th feature. I thought there was definitely like a bunch of shorts.
Could be.
And they are also musicians and have done. It seemed like from the interview I read, they sort of like got into making full-length features, mostly via making videos for their band, which I believe the band is called Hellbender or Hellbenders. In any event, it's super indie. Like, we should get that out up front. And you know, this movie was made effectively during the pandemic. They, at least what I read, was they shot like one scene in like March of 2020, and then it was like, gonna have to figure the rest of this out. But the basic plot here is that you've got a mother and daughter, which in this case are the real life mother and daughter, Toby and Zelda, and they are living in the woods. Zelda, the character's name is Izzy. Izzy is, I don't know, like 16, like you guys tell me.
Yeah,
she's
16, 17.
Yeah, she's a teen, being homeschooled, but like not just like she's forbidden from even seeing other people. So the mom goes into town, gets food, but otherwise they like forage a lot and they like eat weird meals of sticks and small berries. And you know, I don't want to like spoil too much because we'll get into it over the conversation, but she effectively, Izzy begins to not even like rebel, but just like lightly feel like she should explore outside of this very strange, isolated existence. And that then sort of opens up this sort of broader question of like, why are they actually there? What's going on? What is the mom hiding from her? And eventually there are other characters and some wild stuff happens.
Sure does. Caitlin, what do you think of this movie?
I really liked this one. Joe Ferry, our buddy, had written a piece for the site and had interviewed the Addams family, and I know that he had just a blast. And I was really interested in seeing it and just never made the time for it, but I watched it, and as soon as it ended, I hit restart, like right after the credits finished rolling, because I liked it that much. I really like a witch story. That's sort of what we're working with here, is witch stuff, generational witch stuff, mother and daughter witch stuff. There's a lot of plug it up type themes of sort of coming of age and motherhood. So it was right up my alley in terms of its themes and in terms of its just sort of vibe. It's really rock and roll. It's just really cool. I don't know. I really liked it a lot. I think it's going to make my list.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, this is one that as I said over email, like I understand that it's not going to be for everybody. It's it definitely inhabits like this, in my opinion, beautifully niche sort of like corner of horror, but it's like a feminist folk horror monster movie, and like I feel like you will know pretty quickly if you're the audience or not. And I really am pretty stoked about this one, and watched it a couple of times and was really glad that Eric had a reason to watch it. And now we'll hear what he thinks.
Casey.
So I'd heard a lot of buzz on this one from our own Slack out there, the BGH Slack. People talking about seeing this one, and it sounded kind of cool. I'd read the plot drop or something. I hadn't watched any trailers. Thought it sounded interesting, but it definitely, from the plot description, it sounded like something that could be a little more folk horror than, say, monster-y type horror or something like that, kind of leading to what Elizabeth said. So I wasn't real sure. I kind of kept putting it off, and I finally saw it on I finally saw it for the first time when it came up on Joe Bob, and I think that was a great introduction to it, because they had everybody but Lulu, the entire Addams family but Lulu was there on Joe Bob, and talking about their process and stuff. And our own John Shelton had said in Slack that night, as we're all watching Joe Bob, that, pardon my French, but he's like, these people are punk as fuck listening to their story on how this movie was made. And they really are. And I think it comes through in that punk rock feeling comes through in the filmmaking too. So there's stuff that they're bending rules and stuff like that in the filmmaking, which I liked. And I like the story that goes behind it. They've been living in an RV for like a year and a half, traveling around, shooting scenes, stuff like that and whatnot. It's a really interesting story. But luckily, once I got into the movie, it was way more than being just a folk horror movie that, sometimes could be, especially when they're dealing with strong themes with the feminism and stuff. I think sometimes they can get lost in the message. They tend to feel a little dreamy and sleepy. And Hellbender doesn't do that. They shock you. They throw some stuff in there to, make it gnarly. And it still has some laughs. And it's just I thought it was a good package altogether.
Casey, you can say blood vomiting into each other's faces. It's fine.
Well, yeah.
Which was them menstruating. Spoiler alert.
John.
Yeah, I really like this movie. I knew nothing about it. Like, I literally, other than the fact that the BGH community was sort of like behind it generally, and you all had sort of kind of been mentioning it as something we should check out, and frankly, Eric's grumpiness was like a fact in its favor.
I'm the best thing that's ever happened in this movie, Schnars.
Yeah, but so my expectations were like they were like non-existent in some ways. And look, like, we've had pretty mixed results with Shudder originals. Like, it's not, I don't know that this is technically a Shudder original. I don't remember, but it's on Shudder, and like, it's, maybe it's available other places, but I don't know. I came away like super impressed. And then, I did go and sort of like read a little bit more about who the Addams family were. All three of them, so Toby, John, is John the dad? What's the dad's name? Yeah, John and Zelda, they're credited as, all three are writers and directors on the movie, which is, I don't know. I mean, it's a little ridiculous, but it's also, I do think it's how they made it. Like, they were just kind of like fucking around and figuring this thing out as they went along. But I guess where I was going is, it's way better than they make it sound. Like, I was, having watched it, I was like, oh, what? Like, they fucking did this like in a very crazy way. That doesn't necessarily like come through in your experience of it. It's low budget. Like, you're not watching this being like, they had a huge crew on set or anything like that, but I was surprised how well put together it was. And to Casey's point, like there's sort of more of a strong narrative thrust here than a lot of other movies that are this quote unquote small, right?
Agree. So
Eric. Yeah. This is what I'll say about this movie. It's just interesting listening to you guys. An interesting thing about this show is that we didn't really get an email thread going, so I actually didn't. Yeah. Nobody really kind of knows where everybody's coming from, but I do disagree with several specific things just said. I don't think this is a bad movie. This is ultimately where I land on is I don't think it's bad. I also don't think it's for me, but I do have some general kind of complaints, I guess, that I would lodge. But overall, I very much understand the allure of the story behind this movie. Like, I think horror fans love a good indie underdog, guerrilla filmmaking kind of story like this. And the fact that they're all a family, I think, makes it more endearing. And in that way, it's not what I want to see on Last Drive-In, but it does make, to Casey's point, Last Drive-In a really great venue to kind of get this movie out there, because you're getting the experience while also learning about them, and they're very kind of quirky and charismatic in their own way. So I like that. I get that part very much. I think it's very visual. There's a lot of visual flair in this movie. A lot of creatively, it is a movie where even the more mundane action is framed in very intentioned, mindful ways, which is a thing that I definitely like. My biggest issue is, although I like the story of the movie, I like the mythos they're creating here, it actually to me feels like super thin on plot in a way that, to me, even at an hour 22, the whole thing just feels very padded. Like, I like their little dream sequences things, but by the sort of fifth time that I was watching this Game of Thrones crow's eye dream sequence little thing, I'm like, okay, where are we going here? I also think a huge element that's missing to me, here's the thing. Again, I really don't think it's a bad movie at all. It is just a hair shy towards the fart smelly side too much for me, for just I sort of need more plot to keep me engaged. One thing I think is missing that would have helped for me personally, there's I don't think there's any tension in the movie. There's no threat to this family. The people who get killed wander in like doofuses, and they're like, hey, ladies in the woods, and they're dead 3 seconds later. Nobody's curious about them or interested in what they're doing in a way that might threaten them and then create more pressure while they're also experiencing this mother-daughter coming-of-age struggle. I also find, to me, the performances are just pretty flat. So I think a lot of the film lies on the daughter's shoulders to really sell this, and she seems to be on nitrous half of the time. She's just so
she's homeschooled, Eric.
Right, as a person who cuts hair of the age that she is, it is an incredibly realistic depiction.
Listen,
of
I'm not.
a disaffected
I
youth.
couldn't tell you what the hell a 16-year-old sounds like.
I don't even know that she was acting.
I don't. Right, that's what. Legit, I feel like you're a fly on the wall of their lives.
They were just say.
Yeah, that's totally. That's I totally get that. For me, what that did was just, it gives the whole thing this very airy, drawn out kind of thing. I just wasn't. The pacing lost me. There's not enough plotting to kind of keep me engaged in what's happening. I felt like.
So, Eric, the tension of the film, at least.
By the way, you guys are all very smart and like this movie. You don't have to argue with me. It's fine. You can just let me be grumpy in the corner. I'm okay.
Hold on, but we can tell you why you're wrong. That's
so it's over.
Just to be clear. No, it's look, the tension of the film is all about the daughter and whether or not she is going to the mom is going to be able to train her and sort of like coach her through this transition, and sort of like realization of her power without her becoming a risk to herself, or I mean really to herself because of being a risk to other people, right? Like she becomes so powerful that she, gets discovered, gets destroyed, like draws too much attention. I mean, that was my take on it.
Well, there's also a very real
right, but
possibility
none of those
of
things
her...
but none of those things are threatened or even, you know what I mean? Like it's
But
all
she becomes the
theoretical.
threat, I think,
She
is
is.
the point. Like the threat is her. She's a threat to her
The
mom.
Hellbender,
She's a
it
threat
builds into the mythos that they killed them. It's like spring eats fall, like whatever the thing they were saying.
Yeah.
Whether, yeah.
Do you need us to tell you the seasons, or?
No, I just couldn't for a moment remember
I remember the order.
Hopefully,
it's from spring to fall.
Hopefully they repeat it several times for you.
It's been a long day, guys.
Also, she lives in the South. There's like 1.5 seasons.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
This is the kind of movie that I wish I had made. Like, I don't know. I feel like when I watched it, I was like, damn, this is the kind of movie that I want to write. This is the kind of movie that I want to be a part of. Because it does feel like rad, and it also feels like, just like Elizabeth was saying, just like it was made for us.
Yeah.
It's one of those that I was like, damn, I wish I had made this movie. And even though I didn't make it, I reached out to the Addams family and I was like, this movie rules.
I definitely think it's extremely timely with the horror genre and sort of the themes you're seeing come out more and more. So like I see that part of it. Like it's very effective in that way.
I also think the fact is like, I mean, I'm sure we could sit here and think about this for 5 minutes and come up with sort of other things that have come up, but like this movie is like very relevant for the pandemic because it's about, and like social isolation and
yeah.
Now they like some of that was like a factor because of the pandemic, but I mean it comes pretty quickly after, right? It's like they were processing it in real time to a certain extent, and then it's being played back to us, and these look like, I think we're going to remember the pandemic for a little while. Like, I don't think it's going to not be relevant, but it is timely. It's like,
it's kind of crazy in the last 2 years, how many movies we've reviewed with like similar plots lines about parents having to like keep their children inside or whatever.
As a child of 2 adults with obsessive compulsive disorder, it was strangely familiar. This like Rapunzel syndrome of like everything. It's like the village thing, right? Well, are we in spoiler zone yet?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay, so the
spoilers for the village.
Okay,
don't spoil the village for me, please. I'm just kidding.
No, but the alleged disorder that the girl has, we find out whatever, like she is being kept from society in a way by her mother that would feel familiar, I think, to anybody who has struggled at all with like an unstable living situation that resulted in them being cut off from society.
But I think what's really cool is it kind of inverts subverts the traditional framing of that, where we're not keeping her safe from society, we're keeping society safe from her because she's so powerful and so dangerous. And I don't know, like, I mean, it definitely has that sort of like those beats of that trope, but I like that it's the motivation comes from a different place.
Would you say an unstable living situation like traveling the country with your parents making a movie?
No, listen, I can I be real for a minute? Because like I'm the parent to like a young creative. She's 3, but she's like the drama, you guys. It's crazy. So I all the time I'm like, I don't want toddler and tiara life for her, but she dances and like that's like a thing where I am from. Is like my clients all the time will be like, is she gonna do pageants? And I'm like, my initial reaction is like, absolutely not. But then I don't want to be what I dislike in the world and like try to edit her to fit my definition of like what she should be doing with her creativity or talents. And when I really like when I got down the rabbit hole about this family, I kind of wrote out an email I never sent to Toby Poser that's like, I want you to write a parenting book that's like why what you did was okay. Because it is like there's no right or wrong way to parent your children. And like stability does not always equal like emotional health or healthy boundaries or, like the ideal parent-child relationship. And especially in today's world, I don't feel like there is such a thing. So it's it's just interesting.
Yeah, I think I read that they started in the Northeast and then went to Washington State. So like they truly traveled the country for this.
That was kind of my favorite Joe Bob tidbit. And honestly, the thing that kept me engaged the most was they described how, because they shot so much of it outside in different areas of the country. I mean, it's like, I was basically trying to spot foliage that didn't match, like between shots.
Well, or a stranger, Eric. So having not known that while I was watching it, I was like, where the hell did they make this
They're
movie?
in like the Catskills a lot of the time, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah. John, can you find the Catskills on a map, John?
Eric, that's where my house that I just bought is, like,
of course,
10 miles from the Catskills. So
you bought the Catskills.
I bought the Catskills.
Okay, Don.
Yeah, I am.
But,
I'm 46 miles from the Catskills, John. I'm so close to you.
I know. I said that before.
Guys, hang out.
So no, but I can't remember where I was going. No, I mean, like, there's a lot of like climbing around in nature, like literal climbing in some scenes, and I just was like, it is funny having heard that, because in retrospect I was like, that actually explains a lot about why this looked like completely wild sometimes. I don't know, like again, like I had no opinion on the family or the parents, and certainly Elizabeth has thought a lot more about Toby Poser and her decisions with parenting. But I mean, it's interesting.
May or may not smoke. Having these thoughts.
No, like it's a really interesting point, and I mean, obviously, it's a completely non-diegetic element in the film, right? Like, it's not a part of the like film itself, but it is like knowing that. And like, look, like the thing I'm curious about, and maybe they mentioned it in the Joe Bob's, like, what's the deal with Lulu? Like, do you think she's like upset that she's not also a director, or like
she was in school at the time? I think she was in college, so they came to her. She was one of the like alternate locations.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was busy, I guess.
That was my initial when I was reading it, and they were like, "Well, the three of them made this movie," and then like they had Lulu join in a little bit. I was like, "What, poor Lulu?"
You're like, get out of here, Blondie. Yeah, welcome in the rock and roll group.
She definitely does not play in their like the Hellbender band or whatever.
Right.
The Hellbender.
But I love that part too. That's so familiar to, I think, specifically like young female audiences. It's like this moment
playing in a band, or which?
No, like with the two of them, like their whole dynamic, Lulu and Zelda, the pool, like the whole scene, like with the barrettes, and she's like, it's like this, like she doesn't know if she wants to like be her or like be with her. Like there's definitely this like kind of energy of like she's just very curious in a way that felt real for adolescence when you find a new person that's like especially different from you. I don't know. I thought their scenes together were pretty good.
I did enjoy a lot of that.
And Eric, I think you had mentioned the dream sequences, and usually in a movie I'm not crazy about the dream sequences, but because that's how they're communicating with each other, kind of, I really did like them. And because they were like gross, like the scene where they're puking blood into each other's faces, and also the language that they use with each other, like Izzy says like, "Oh, we should eat a frog," and she was like, "You can't have a frog, you greedy cunt." Like, it's just like I really like the way that it's just a really cool dynamic to see, and it's just very different.
You wish you called your mom a cunt.
My mom says, I don't want to put Edie on blast, but like we swear in my family quite a bit.
That's true. I forgot your mom may or may not be a listener. Uh-oh.
Edie, comes out.
I hope you wouldn't let your daughter talk to you that way. No.
I don't call her that. Jesus. We call other people that snarks.
Because I thought this is where Elizabeth was going for a second. I really enjoyed the music scenes. Like they're.
Oh, I mean, that's like
and like it's actually like a perfect example of how kind of weird this movie is, or like off kilter.
Here's the thing, John. Like that never works in movies when they try to just like throw me like there's this song, or we also do music, or hey, this person sings, so they're gonna sing. Like it very rarely works. And this, I just trust them, and like from the first moment I was like, okay, yeah, like they're
Well,
gonna.
I
This
did actually
feels
enjoy.
okay.
I actually enjoyed the music too, which is pretty rare for me
It's
in
good,
particular.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I just loved that like they did like the outfits, like they always
yeah,
had a
I want
different.
that
It was like their
crown. That's a
thing.
Halloween costume.
Well, her and like even that was it the first scene they play
The
where she's got
makeup,
the like the
yes.
crying.
I
the
thought it was funny
tears.
they do all the makeup to just like perform
I
with each
love
other.
that because
Yeah.
that is so
Alone.
true to life, though. Like, if you are a creative person in any way that's ever been like isolated for any reason, like, and you have a bunch of makeup, like you might just make yourself look like Kiss. I don't know. Like that really to me felt very genuine, and like she of course is going to grow tired of like playing for no audience, but the mother wants to foster that creativity and like experience all of it. Like have her actually like inhabit this performing character, and I don't know, it's cool. Like I'm like
Do
I'm
they
like that with
make
my daughter.
music
I feel
like in real life seas?
Yeah,
the
yeah,
band
I feel
is
like they
called
must,
the
Hellbender.
right?
Hellbender
Yeah, okay.
band name, yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. And Elizabeth and I have talked about this on Plug It Up before, how sometimes when movies have like a strong sort of like music overtone, the one that I did on More Deadly, what the movie about bulimia, I'm forgetting what it's called now. Not a banquet.
No, just
There's
listen to it.
Yeah, but there are some movies that feel like an extended music video, and this wasn't like that. This was like,
No.
I felt like an actual movie that had some cool musical pieces in it, and you can kind of tell that they play music together in real life because it, I don't know, it just like fit their vibe, fit the movie's vibe, and it didn't feel out of place, and it didn't feel like we are making a music video and gonna plop it in here.
And it's jarring, and you're going to watch this now.
That's what's weird about it is like it felt like a bit that they were doing, like because it's so well. No, but I mean,
do you know what I mean? That like
totally, but at the same time, it was like naturalistic because, and it's the same way Eric was kind of commenting on the acting. Like, it would almost be like weird to call the acting great, and we were joking about it, but like, they are mother and daughter. Like, they're not even acting. Like, for a large part, it's like she doesn't have to. Like, you know, can you connect with the idea that this is your mom? And like, it's like, yeah, I can. Like, she's my mom, and like probably like yells at her for like not for doing dumb shit sometimes. Like, I don't know. So it is it's almost like too naturalistic, and look, like it could be interpreted differently by someone who has, you know, the wrong ideas, like Eric. But
Fuck you.
You know where they did miss the mark on the music though with this movie, and I did bring it up in Slack that night. But they go to Lulu leads them to this pool, and they're all hanging out in this person's pool. It's pretty obvious it's not Lulu's pool, and they're hanging out. There's a drum set. They're playing drums and stuff. The guy that owns the pool comes home later and chases the kids off, and he's yelling at them and saying, "That's an antique drum set." So I know this is nitpicky, but if it's an antique drum set and you're worried about it, why are you leaving it poolside in the middle of the goddamn wood?
You know, it's a good point though. The music thing, like I could have. There's these musical interludes, but there's barely any. What would the word for that be, John? Diegetic music, or like no, it would just be like background music. Like, I think if it's not found footage, I prefer a movie because for me it helps keep me engaged and keeps like the pace rolling. If you've got a lot of musical cues, there's almost no music in between. Yeah. In between those little numbers, I think that might help me a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Have you heard of a synth, John? I'm a big fan. I like it. Doesn't take much.
They could get, you know, look, the next movie, hi-fi soundtrack. Like
that's a free idea, John. They can take.
He's available.
Their next movie is like a vaudevillian, like
perfect.
I don't know. I've heard little things about it that make me excited.
Oh, that's like a real thing.
Yeah.
I do think because I saw Elizabeth and I watched their previous movie, and I did like this a lot more. Like this one's a lot more narrative. And shows a lot of sort of creative growth and stuff. So I would be interested to see.
Yeah, what was the other one you called?
I could.
The Deeper You Dig.
That sounds right.
Yeah. That sounds right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do next for sure.
Oh yeah.
That one's super creepy because it's like the dad is the star, and he's like a dude who like accidentally hits and kills his own daughter, but it's in the movie. It's not his daughter. She's in a sled or something. He then like basically is trying to like dispose of her body, and it's just really weird knowing they're like father and daughter. But there's we also get that moment where the Izzy character approaches the
Amber character, and it looks like she's going to kiss her, and I'm like, oh, there's sisters, you know, like, and that's not the intention of the character when you find out that like Izzy's in this sort of like hypnotic witch state, but still, like, you know, I imagine that added a dynamic of strangeness, but it chokes her, so which is representative of sisters, from what I understand.
I did want to go back to the beginning of this movie just because Joe Bob called it out too. But what way to start a movie when you're basically blasting a witch off into the air like a bottle rocket? It's a great way to set the tone of the movie.
I did like that scene.
The movie. So there was like sort of two cold opens to this movie because isn't there like another sequence right that's even before that?
There's one with somebody like eating somebody, right?
Well, the when they talk about the mom character talks about it, how her mother had eaten like a whole village, and that she had stitched her mouth up out of guilt.
Right.
And that's so, like, when she gets shot. Yeah.
But we see her with the stitches, and then we see her get launched. And
yeah. It's at least the way it was presented, I had no friggin' idea what was. I mean, obviously I knew what was going on with the witch bottle rocket. Like that was not so hard, but like that first thing, you have so little context for, and I guess now that she does explain it. I mean, it's fairly close to the end of the movie, but
that's a cool shot too, where she's explaining it, because like Izzy is sitting on the couch and her mom's sort of like laying in her lap, and they're like high off of blood or whatever it is that they've done, and the lighting is really cool. It's just on them in this red couch, and that's all you see. And we find out that the mom is like 147 years old, and then she's like, when are you gonna die? And she's like, you tell me. And it's like, oh, I just like the way they give us that information, because it is quick, and but it's visually interesting, even though it's static. It's just this like light on this couch, and it looks really cool to me.
Well, and I did love. Go ahead, Casey. Sorry.
I was going to say, I liked how they gave us little hints throughout the movie that mom was actually like way older than she appeared. There's that scene early on when she went to town to get supplies, and the guy in the store was telling her, it's like, oh, I think you were the nurse for my grandpa or something like that. And she's like, oh, you got the wrong person. There's a couple little nods leading up to it that I liked.
Yeah, that was cool.
The I did like the mythos. Like there's been lots of witch movies, but this had like a very specific.
Because they're not just witches, John. They're a witch, demon, and apex predator, and they're still evolving.
They're hellbenders. I get
That's
it.
right.
I understand.
Love a good salamander.
I mean, the salamander situation really does undercut some of the impact, but that's neither here nor
Maybe they're poisonous. Did we find out?
No, they're not. Wikipedia says they're delicious, actually. So I'm kidding. It doesn't say that.
How do you cook a salamander, John? Probably smoke it
on a stick.
On a stick.
Right.
Because you're Bear Grylls or whatever.
Nah, Bear Grylls would raw dog that shit.
I don't know what that means.
He doesn't. He doesn't use.
Like a goldfish,
he doesn't use fire.
Eating a goldfish.
You don't chew. You gotta just let that boy go down.
There's that amazing / awful gif of him just picking a fish out of the water and just like taking a bite out of its side.
Ew!
Alive.
What? That's unnecessary. I mean, that's just
extremely unnecessary. Yeah. Anything else you guys wanted to say about this movie?
I'm definitely gonna end up covering it on Plug It Up. It's right up the Plug It Up alley there.
Yeah,
it really is. It hits most of your keywords.
What have you been waiting for, Caitlin? You mean we're not the last ones to cover it?
No.
We had the last
This is what happens when you make that schedule so far out, Caitlin. You know?
Listen, I have abandoned the schedule. I promise I have. Going week to week, buddy.
All right. Would you recommend this movie, Elizabeth?
Absolutely.
Jonathan?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes, and go watch it with Joe Bob.
Caitlin?
Yes.
I guess I might recommend the Joe Bob version because it does bring you all the like context and the interviews and stuff, just to keep it interesting. I mean, like, listen, it's Sex and the City style. If you're an Eric, I might say no. I might say skip
listen.
it.
You know what's so funny, Eric? She was on Sex and the City. Toby Poser was in the episode where Carrie thinks she's pregnant and then she's at the park and she sees the kids playing. She's the mom that comes over and anyway, getting down around.
There you go. If you're an Eric, maybe skip it. There's a new Ninja Turtles game on Switch. I think I would probably do that instead.
Oh, interesting. Didn't know that.
It's called Shredder's Revenge. Get on it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's going to do it for Hellbender. Let's take a quick break and do some fan mail.
She was the prom queen, but couldn't handle the heat of the moment. Now she's back, and she's still burning mad. Sometimes bad girls have all the fun. Say hello, Mary Lou. It's prom night 2. Next.
Wop, babaloo, bop, a wop, bam.
Hello, creeps.
It's John Kassir,
The voice of the Crypt Keeper.
and I'm a friend of bloodygoodhorror.com.
Send feedback to info@bloodygoodhorror.com or on Twitter using hashtag AskBGH. Join Patreon to get back episodes and much more. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror.
We're back.
Yep.
Eric, do you want me to fiddle with your list, perhaps, or are you good?
I do not.
I love the bait. It's like,
Listen,
Caitlin, have you ever known me to forget to add a movie I liked to my list? No.
Did we?
I know. I said, have you ever known me to forget to add a movie that I like? I'm also.
I feel like for a while we neglected the list, but now it's. I mean,
that's
it's
because you were
looking
gone.
good.
That's because you were out.
I mean, fair enough.
Big news in BGH history. We next week are going to be hitting episode 666. It's the devil's number, John. Are you familiar?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's bad mojo, you know?
I am aware. It's one of the weirdest scenes of The Omen, the original Omen.
Like
thinking
through his hair.
Which
yeah,
scene?
It's so weird.
I don't remember. Does he have it on his forehead? Or I've only seen that movie like
no,
twice.
it's
in the back of his head.
It's in like the back of his head. Yeah.
The bangs are what I had near me, so that's what I went for personally. But
we have kind of a. I mean, I guess it's not that special, but we have a specific curveball BGH pick.
It's special to us.
Yeah, you gotta undercut it. It hasn't even happened.
We got a special movie pick, a first-time guest that's coming on that's like an expert on the movie, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. Excited.
I'm gonna study all week just to be ready.
No, you're not.
I love it.
No, I'm definitely not going to.
You're gonna have so many words to choose from.
Yeah, it'll be maybe, maybe.
Yeah, we're all gonna study for this. We'll all be watching this movie on Tuesday next week.
I'm gonna listen to the research I need to via. I've got.
I'm so intrigued. I'm like.
Tune in next week, Elizabeth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Caitlin, what you got going on over at Plug It Up?
So this week, Allison of the Who's There podcast was on, and we covered both fire starters, which was a lot of fun. And for the folks that are in or around Richmond, I am going to host horror trivia that I wrote. I'm very excited about it at Strange Ways, the Strange Ways on Dabney, the one with parking, on Friday, June 26th, or June 24th, excuse me. So this will come out tomorrow, the next Friday. So I would love to see some familiar folks in the audience. So, and if you've listened to Plug It Up, Maddie, who's been a guest several times, is going to co-host with me. I previewed the trivia at a party at my place a few months ago and taking it to the big stage now. So
Love it. Elizabeth, what do you got going on?
I'm working tomorrow at DeLon Salon in Collierville, Tennessee. No, it's true, but not much else at the moment. Life's been.
Well, you haven't been on in a while. I would recommend people go check out To All the Men I've Tolerated, which you're on a couple episodes of.
That is true, and it's just a wonderful podcast hosted by a wonderful person.
There must have been some other stuff in the in-between time since the last time you were on, right? I'm sure you were on a Plug It Up recently.
I love how you're like my cheerleaders. I love it. Yes, More Deadly. But that was, I don't know. I'm out there. More Deadly, Pure, Plug It Up, sometimes Thor's.
Oh, and the channel that Kathy does on YouTube.
That's right. Thank you, Caitlin. Yes, I do every once in a while get to hop on Cinemondo's podcast, their YouTube channel, and we have, let's be honest, like too much fun reviewing some trailers, and it's fun. You should check it out.
It is fun. Y'all do a good job.
Love it. And how can people find you on social media?
I'm Final Girl Scout everywhere. You can search that.
They can see your thoughts on George Costanza in a backwards
They
baseball
sure
hat.
can, because he can.
I feel some jealousy.
When George puts the hat on backwards, I'm like, Georgie boy, I'm into it.
It's like, George, count your days, son of a bitch.
All right. I just wanted to give a shout out to Jason from Dads in the Crypt for giving me a super cool birthday present. And you should listen to Dads in the Crypt. So there you go. John, what was your birthday present you got me again?
I mean, Eric,
what was that?
Do you remember what my birthday is?
My birthday present from Schnars was he cut his hair and didn't tell me for a week, and I found out from his wife's
answer to this question. Eric, when is John's birthday?
He might actually know.
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
I knew he did. What did you get? What did you get for me for your birthday?
I got a really sick giant Ninja Turtle.
Yep.
And an alarm.
No, that's the one. That's the one I was talking about.
And an alarm clock with a sun that has like a sun lamp on it that I've wanted to try for a long time.
But also a Ninja Turtle.
And a giant Ninja Turtle.
That for like 6 months, my daughter's been like, "But why can't we take it out of the box?" And I'm like, "Because collector's items. You need to learn it, love it."
Shout out to TSA, who are probably like, "What the fuck is happening with this suitcase that just went through? Like, what is that?"
You're like, "Don't fucking touch my turtle."
I don't know.
John,
They've seen some
very tiny sex doll. Yeah.
John, if you didn't save a lock of your hair to put in a locket for Eric for Christmas, I'm gonna be so upset.
Oh, Caitlin, that's so good.
It's all so fun on the show, and then he gets this like lock of John's hair and a.
I was at the barber with 2 of my children by myself. There was no hair saving happening.
What is
That's a survival mode situation.
What does the wife think?
She was up my ass to get my hair cut, so
really?
she's
I thought she was into it.
Oh,
I thought she liked it now.
I mean, she doesn't know what she likes, so she's been very supportive because there was a lot of feedback. I mean, honestly, I was ready to cut it because I was like, it's so sweat. I get so sweaty, and it's like,
yeah, it's a lot.
It's gross.
Yeah, when you have the sweat like in your hair on the back of your neck, it's rough.
Yeah, that was all the time.
Can I ask what you requested from this barber?
I was just like,
was it a salon? Man, was it a salon or like a barbershop?
No, it was a barbershop.
That's a pretty bold move walking to a barbershop with long hair, dude. Like those dudes don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I know.
No, first time. So it's funny. First time I had ever been to this barbershop. But
you are in New York City though, so it was probably some like bespoke hipster barbershop with like.
Did he have a handlebar mustache?
This dude was like 50s and either Israeli or Eastern European. You could kind of get me either way.
Careful with the 50s, John. Casey's here.
Fair enough.
Oh, Casey, is this Samantha?
But
gross tonight, Jesus.
On theme.
Yeah. No, but I literally was just like, I don't know, like let's take it down, and he was like, okay. So,
dude,
but it's
if
funny,
someone sat down in the chair and was like, let's take it down, I'd be like, I don't know what that means.
When I had hair, I never once went in without like a list of thoughts about exactly what I want.
No,
that is not surprising.
So like the way it was listed, it's like men's cut, and then there was literally one that said long hair, and it was like
ladies
cut.
cut.
Like old school. Like, did it have a number where you're like, I want the 17?
No.
Did he sit you down and go like?
Did
he sit you down and go like? Was he like? All right, Nancy, what are we doing here?
God, men's haircuts are so much cheaper.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's ridiculous. The lady tax comes in hard at the salon.
I had been going to like a salon, unisex salon,
the way to go,
like,
dude.
and I was paying like $65-$75.
I did though have for a while this like Greek dude cut my hair. We used to talk about soccer. The guy was a magician. He was amazing.
He talks about him all the time.
Oh, he's amazing. And then one time I just like call in and they're like, "Yeah, it doesn't work here anymore." I'm like, "Can you tell me where he went?" And they would they would not tell me, those motherfuckers, and I had to find someone else.
That's very sad.
Yeah,
should have gotten his number, man.
Yeah.
I know.
All the time, people like, I'll get new clients that are like, I don't know what happened to the girl that was doing my hair before. It's like she like got pregnant, and I'm like, she doesn't like you. She fired you as a client. Basically, is what happened. Like, you just called one day, she didn't have any appointments, and then like she never called back. Yeah.
What happened is I'm getting the cast-offs because I'm new.
Yeah. You know the drill.
All I can think of is I've been watching Married with Children, and I just saw the episode where Al Bundy's barber died, and he couldn't get his hair cut. And that's all I can think of now with Eric.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I did have a situation like Seinfeld, like where he is trying to get the other guy to cut his hair, but can't go when the other guy's working, like the cheat on your hairdresser kind of conundrum. Today, I'm doing this girl's hair, and Margie comes over, this dear old lady I work with, and she is like, "Excuse me, hey, what's your name?" And like gets like kind of in this girl's face. This girl said, we had just been talking about it. She's like 17. Her name's Summer. She was very sweet. And Margie's like, "I'm talking to you. Hey, what's up?" And she's like, "Oh, Summer." And she's like, "Yeah, it's Margie. You remember me?" And she was like,
"Oh my god,
oh
dude.
Yeah, I got a new phone." And I literally, I was on a date, and the guy across the room came over and was like, "Hey, who's this? Like, what's happening?"
Right, remember me?
Awkward. And then after she was like, and I was like, "Here's my cell number. You can just text me."
Schnars, you see how much content we're getting out of you cutting your stupid hair?
I mean, I expected nothing less. So.
Yeah.
I will say, John, when you mentioned when Eric broke the news that your hair was cut, I was like,
saw it on Twitter.
But I must say it's a good cut.
So here's what happened. I saw a post from John's lovely wife, Suzanne, saw it and immediately texted the thread, all caps, "John, did you cut your hair?" No punctuation.
Yeah.
That's how you know I'm pissed, because I like proper punctuation.
Well, it's how I know Suzanne posts on social media when I hear from Eric. So
I was livid.
Yeah.
It was a tough day.
That's the chain of communication. Yeah.
It was a tough day for me, John, personally.
Fair enough.
It was big news in my Twitter feed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gave me something to tweet about, I must say. It was a good day.
Well, I saw it tweeted by, I think, Rachel, who was like, I literally gasped in all caps.
I know.
First of all, y'all, 30 seconds before this, I learned that HBO Max is going to have a Pretty Little Liars spinoff. So I already was like,
I saw that.
I saw you reply to that. Yeah.
Then I saw the next tweet I was like, wait, is that real life? Hold on.
Earth-shattering day.
Was Rachel being like, I literally gasped. And it was the tweet that said John cut his hair. And I was like, is this real? Like, what's happening to Twitter? How can both these things be?
End of an era.
Well,
all right, Kaylin.
Well lasted.
What do we got on Twitter tonight?
All right, we got 2 tweets out there. We got a hashtag AskBGH. Tweet us questions. We'll answer. First up, we have @RelOnFilms. Goes by Teddy Kruger. Are there any TV show intros that you skip when they play? Some of mine are The Office, Stranger Things, and P-Valley, which I'm not sure what P-Valley is.
I have a hard and fast rule about this. If you are watching a show, you are submitting yourself to the experience of this happening to you, and you should feel
hard
it
other
every
direction
time.
on this.
You should feel it every time because it's part of the production. I don't know. I'm a real.
But do you watch do you also, because now that you can also skip the last time on?
Yeah, I don't watch a ton of stuff that does the last time on.
Are we talking about themes? Do we listen to themes?
Skipping themes. You agree with?
I think it's heresy to skip a show theme. I also
100%.
think
Okay, it's like walking out at the end of church if you go to mass and you're like done with a homily. So Here's what I would watch.
Also, walk out of church, no problem.
It also like watching the theme for some reason when I'm like
I watch True Blood's theme every single time.
Okay, well, True Blood's theme is top notch.
It fucks,
when I'm hardcore,
if you watch that show 8 times, that's it. They do the whole song.
Here's the thing: when I'm hardcore, like depression binging a show, it somehow makes me feel worse if I skip the theme. It's like I can't wait 30 seconds to just get it in my veins. One show is there's only one show that has ever been an exception to this, and it is Westworld, because that theme was like 3 times too long. Like it would not fucking end.
That's how I felt like the Game of Thrones theme.
I would watch
that.
No, but that Game of Thrones Game of Thrones song is like
I build that time in though, John. Like you're sitting down to watch the show, like it's part of it.
No.
The only show I got that I would say you absolutely cannot skip the theme song for is Psych, because it's an awesome song.
I've never seen that show.
Oh,
I love it. I love a theme. American Horror Story.
It sets the mood. It sets the mood for the show.
Is like Roseanne, one of my favorites.
Yes,
I have my answer. DuckTales. Never skip the theme.
You're a special person, Josh. I love DuckTales.
The new DuckTales is so good. The reboot they did. So.
I think
anyone watching Mochi and Waffles or what's this?
Yeah.
We're it's super. I'm like crying every episode. Like friends are family. Thank you, Miss Obama. Oh my god.
All right. One other tweet here from our good friend at Libney, please. You're in a band with your family. What instrument do you play? What's your band's name? And what's your first hit single called?
I have recurring.
Sorry, that's 3 questions.
I have recurring dreams where I convince, often like people I actually know in real life, that I can play an instrument and I'm going to be in their band. And the dream itself takes place as I'm like getting up on stage and being like to myself, like, I don't know how to do this. Like, what am I supposed to do? And then
you're Jamie Lee Curtis in Freaky Friday.
It's I guess it's just like a hardcore imposter syndrome dream where I'm just like up on the stage, just being like, I don't know, I'm just gonna hit the buttons and shit. I don't know.
You could, but like you can do that on stage. Like I have a friend that does like synths and stuff. Like
yeah, but like, I mean, no, I'm usually playing like a guitar or drums or something. I absolutely do not know how to play.
I would be stuck on tambourine because I can't play anything.
I mean, I can't play anything either. If I were theoretically doing this, it would be the pedal steel. So
I play a lot of instruments, so I'd be like the cleanup hitter on whatever Colleen and Delaney couldn't handle.
How about a tambourine?
Same. Yeah.
Tambourine.
Triangle. No, I'd be the studio musician of the family too, Casey, for sure.
Yeah.
I dated someone who was in like a family band scenario, and I always felt like, cool, everyone here knows so much about music, and I'm like, do you guys listen to Tori Amos? Like I just
on the off chance you do, yeah.
It was like very. I mean, yeah, I always felt very out of the loop, but it's cool when like a family is able to play together like that.
I saw the Partridge Family at an impressionable age before I ever saw Brady Bunch, and I always was confused why the Brady Bunch wasn't a band. Like it didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
They were at one point maybe.
Well, they would go on variety shows, and yeah, that's another podcast.
And that's it for tweets.
Love it.
I was gonna say I see Eric looking at his phone, but
so let's see what we got here. Follow-up question to the Twitter question: if your family band together to make a film, what genre would it end up being?
My family would be horror for sure.
Yeah.
I said my answer was a drummer. What am I from Boston? What the fuck?
Somebody please make do something with that.
My answer was a drama about avoidance in which no one speaks for 90 minutes.
It's an art house picture.
Exactly.
Yeah. You'd fit right in with the Addams.
I gotta think Colleen would push me for a found footage movie.
Mine would be a documentary about the haunted ass house I grew up in.
That would make for a good.
It sure would. Yeah, it would. Somebody should get on that.
Next up, somebody should get on. Hellraiser, Hellblazer, or Hellbender. I mean, I'm sorry, it's Hellraiser.
They're all fine. What?
I don't even
understand.
I don't even know what Hellblazer is.
I don't like Hellraiser that much. That's my hot take.
Yeah. Hellraiser's a weird nostalgic comfort watch for me. It's weird. I don't love that I like ever put it on just to be like, whatever. Another podcast.
It makes both of those movies the first two movies make my skin crawl like almost nothing else.
Right. Well.
Yeah.
I think
I'd have to go Hellblazer. They had some good stories.
What is Hellblazer?
It's a comic series. It was a short-lived, like 2-season TV show. But you know the old Keanu Reeves movie Constantine?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's Constantine's technically the main character of Hellblazer, John Constantine.
Okay.
Not really the same connected to that movie, but
what's your favorite flavor, ice cream / frozen dessert?
I like a peanut butter chocolate ripple situation.
Yeah.
Like where you get the chocolate ice cream with the peanut butter kind of threaded throughout.
Speaking of which, I had last week, John, from Ben and Jerry's peanut butter on top. A+.
I
have not had it. All right.
It's chocolate ice cream and it's loaded with peanut butter cups.
I always say this when I just so I can just spread the word. When I was a kid, my go-to was Reese's peanut butter cup sundae with strawberry ice cream. That's where it's at.
That sounds so weird.
It's like a PB&J with chocolate.
It's
amazing.
yeah. Now it's coming together. I'm a chocolate ice cream with almonds. It's like in the same vein as these guys with the peanut butter, but
see, I like a fruity.
like an actual almond, the nut.
Yeah, like almonds chopped up in it,
like sliced ones.
I don't like hard things when I'm eating ice
Get
cream.
that healthy shit out of my.
I like the creaminess.
I used to get way
texture.
into Ben and Jerry's Chubby Hubby, which is banana ice cream with dark chocolate chips and walnuts, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's good stuff too.
I always get frustrated when I'm like, oh my God, let's go to Sweet Frog or any kind of frozen yogurt place. And I'm like loading up on ice cream or like, like a chocolate and then like cookie dough in it and like peanut butter on top. And the other person's like, I'll have mango sorbet. And I'm like, why did we come here? I was like, we are here for dessert. We are not here for mango sorbet. I love mango, but that's just not the vibe. The vibe is
so
like
funny you say that because Haagen-Dazs mango ice cream is like, I ate many pints of that when I was pregnant with Heidi, and it's like my reigning favorite ice cream. But I think my normal accessible answer is strawberry ice cream.
I think Haagen-Dazs makes like hands down the best ice cream. Like I don't think there's any even competition there.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's also expensive as shit, but worth it.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, Caitlin, I agree. I need a to-go box for the cookie dough I put on at a frozen yogurt place.
I do like a mango popsicle, especially now it's like 96 degrees in Virginia here. Like good old morning popsicle to get the day started. Mango pop.
Love it.
It's fruit.
It's fruit.
It's fruit and hydration. You're good.
We sort of covered this one. Did anyone watch Hellbender on Joe Bob? How's everyone feeling about this season of The Last Drive-In?
It's had some ups and downs as far as the season goes.
It's been my least favorite season as far as movie picks, but they came in real hot last week with that doubleheader with the baby.
Yeah.
And fucking
they won
the week before that with the Monster Club was really good too.
Monster Club was kind of a neat pick. Yeah, I'll give them that.
That was sweet.
But we've all complained about the Nosferatu episodes.
Dude.
Well, but I'm okay with Black Sunday. I thought that was cool.
I tapped out of that Nosferatu week immediately. I'm not doing it.
It's a good movie. It's a classic, but it's not necessarily what I want to be watching on Friday night.
I feel like I've slowly over.
Wasn't it Friday the 13th too? They had man.
I feel like I've slowly.
I remember because I was in DC for work. It was a different weekend.
I feel like I've slowly over time become this slovenly populist of horror films. I'm just listen. The only thing a movie from 1928 is good for is being like, oh, good for you. Look at them. They figured out how to make movies. I want to watch that shit. Fuck you, dude. Go write your college essays about these things and get the fuck out of my
Put it in a museum and move on.
Yeah. Okay. I have more thoughts. 2 more questions. When's the last time you heard someone say "get bent"? That was a fun saying. I agree wholeheartedly with this. This is Robail.
Yeah, I kind of liked that too.
Get bent is great. It's got a great mouth feel to it.
There's a lot of those. I like a good eat shit. But if take a hike, get bent, eat shit.
Here's what's
instead
cool.
of a fuck off, it's a good. It's good to keep it mixed up.
Here's what's cool about get bent. You'd be hard pressed to find a non-swear word insult that sounds as harsh as get bent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's aggressive.
Yes.
But mild somehow in the delivery of
I like Kick Rocks too. That one's like for little kids.
We used to bust on my
When
mom.
you insult a child.
When you insult a child. For the little kids.
Kick Rocks, little asshole.
I do tell my kids I tell them to take a hike.
We used to make fun of my mom because she'd get pissed off or something, like, you know, when we were joking around, and she would say, "Go pound salt."
Oh, that's right. You told me about
pound sand.
Go pound sand. Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah.
There's a salt one. What is this? There's another one.
I don't know.
I think
like
it's
Go
salt.
Pound
I think
Salt.
she used to say "Go pound salt." Yeah.
I mean,
That
she
sounds
might
wrong,
have.
but I like
That's
it.
Weird.
My mom says salmon.
My mom also used to do the Italian. She used to give us this a lot. She was like, okay. Like the only time I've ever heard my mom say "fuck" it was like she literally says it under her breath, which is hilarious. Like she just doesn't want anybody to hear it.
Wish I had that problem.
I heard my mom say "damn" once when I was like 10, and I was in shock for days.
I said,
but she
fuck
was also the
to
kindergarten
a mystery
teacher.
shopper when I was like in college where I worked.
What was that? To a mystery shopper?
Yeah, we had these like mystery shoppers that would come into Aveda and be like, "Did you give me the tea? They had like a little thing to check off all the stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, fucking Dancing with the Stars, right?" And like she like wrote down like cursed heavily. And I remember the next day I got called into Amanda, my manager's office, and she was like, "I don't want to be like lame or anything." And I'm like, "Then don't steal that other girl's Adderall that we work with, Amanda." And that's
a good comeback.
I can't help it that I'm cool as shit.
Last question of the night. I didn't actually have an answer for this, so I'm curious to see other people's answers. Favorite witch?
Oh,
I love Samantha.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's a good answer.
That's such a warm and fuzzy from my childhood.
for sure. I
And
love
Elizabeth
Sabrina.
McDonald. Sure.
Sabrina.
Yes, Sabrina the
And
Teenage.
I-
See, I also loved Archie and Friends, so yes, Sabrina.
You know, I think this question made
And
me
Thomason.
realize
I was
that
gonna go Thomas.
that might be my answer. I think this question
I
made me
wanted
realize,
everything.
like, now listen, are the ladies though at the end of that movie, are they all witches too, or are they like under the spell of something else? Like at the end of
In
the
which
Witch?
movie?
In
Like
the witch.
at the end of the Witch, right? Like did
Those are all
They're
that's
witches.
a coven. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you got to go through some kind of like initiation first? Like,
She signed the book, baby.
Yeah,
okay.
it's like vicinity. It's like a
Okay.
church situation. Like,
Gotcha.
where's your?
I think what I realized from both this movie and this question is witches are just not my thing. Sheena, it's okay.
And we could not be more different on the
Ahem.
subject.
That I mean, listen,
Are
that's
they not now?
I
Okay.
respect. Well, I respect
Amy.
our differences, Caitlin.
But nobody's gonna bring up Broomhilda.
What is Broomhill? I don't even know what that is. That's like a Saturday
Bugs
morning.
Bunny.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
always said
yeah.
that if I, you know how like campaign, like when you're
Oh.
campaigning, you have like walk-on music to your, or like mine would be the the Wicked Witch of the West song.
You know,
I love that.
the only thing I kept coming back to when I was thinking about favorite witch is the Witches of Eastwick for some reason.
Oh, that would totally be your answer.
Yeah.
I was googling quick. I was
Jack
wrong.
Nicholson.
Liked that movie as a kid.
Broomhilda is her own witch. She's her own cartoon character. Witch Hazel was the witch from Bugs Bunny.
Nice.
Would Isabella Rossellini in Death Becomes Her count as a witch, or is she more like a warlock or something? I don't know. Like, what is that?
Warlock is a male witch,
She
but
just has some
yeah, I don't
powers.
know. She just has a magic
She possesses a magic thing. She doesn't actually
thing.
contain
It's
magic.
not her power.
Got you.
She's
Speaking
also
of-
a benefactor of the youth potion.
I think
as
what
we
I'm-
learned
I think
in
what
the
I'm
awesome
getting-
scene where her tits are just out the whole time.
Yeah, I think what I'm getting here is I like hot witches. Like, is that is that a lane I can occupy?
like Julian Sands.
Yeah, sure.
Or like the Love Witch.
The
from
Love Witch.
Love
I
Witch.
keep, yeah, I keep waiting. She's beautiful.
The 20
She
minutes of
sure
that
is.
movie I saw on the last drive-in before I fell asleep was interesting.
She's gorgeous. She's
She's-
so pretty.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for episode 665. Schnars, you believe we made it to 666?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's
This time next year, we'll be rounding 700.
He said with great enthusiasm.
we haven't recorded it yet, Eric.
Yeah, the
I know.
date's still young.
I woke up sick this morning. Let me put it this way. We barely made it to 665.
Well, that's
so,
what I was thinking. I'm like, yeah.
woof.
Knock on wood.
Good
So yeah,
times.
we got fun, exciting plans planned for episode 666. Keep an eye out for that. I think we already got our movie lined up for 667, which literally never happens, and I'm excited to spend the next 2 weeks not thinking
Yeah.
about what we're doing next. So that's pretty cool. Check Caitlin out on Plug It Up Pod on socials. Don't forget to check our friends out at The Zombie Girls, GRRLZ. We're going to be having some of them back on the show pretty soon here. And check out our friend Miss Elizabeth, Final Girl Scout, on social media.
Yay.
Casey, where can people find you?
Instagram, cinema.fromage.
John, what's the name? John, where's your barber? What can people find you down there now?
Just go hang out there on Thursdays.
I work near Union Square.
Did he give you like a hot shave?
Boxing yourself, bro.
I mean,
did he give
it's
you
a big
like,
city?
Did he give you like a hot shave?
It's not like when you can call out like a specific neighborhood, people can find you.
Did you
he's a nice guy.
Did you get a hot shave, John? Is my question.
No. Remember, I said my kids were there. It's like I was like, bro, I'll pay double if you can get me out of this chair faster. So, you know.
All right, love it. That's gonna do it for BGH. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next week for episode 666.
See yous.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.